Lou, thanks for the time. I guess how do you explain the performance that your defense had last week and then what we saw yesterday, giving up, I believe, a season high 41 points?
Yeah. Such a week-to-week league, and there's obviously no excuse. The way we played last night, the way we executed. Obviously, when it comes to the performance, it starts and ends with the guy you're looking at. So, um, we have to do better than we did last night at every level of the defense. Up front, linebacker, coaching those positions, certainly DBs. The guys out there, everything has to be better. And it was certainly a drastic change from the week prior.
And then one follow up, Jalen Jones, I believe, got 4 snaps yesterday on defense. Um, Obviously, other guys got more playing time than him, but can you explain maybe why he hasn't gotten more of an opportunity, given that he has started in the past and played a decent amount in his career?
Yeah. Now we evaluate each guy each week, and certainly everything will be up at that position to be evaluated going forward. So we'll look at all avenues.
Joel.
You mentioned earlier this season wanting to play a lot of dime to not necessarily have to put linebackers and stuff on tight ends. Do you feel like you're able to do that yesterday?
Well, I don't, we didn't, there was some zone situations where the linebackers may have ended up, second play of the game, Jermaine's down the middle of the field. And I don't know if that's the one you're referring to, but it's a 1st and 10 and, or a 2nd and 6, I think it was, whatever it was. That's just a typical zone that anybody would play. And they're in 21 personnel, which is big people, and you're not typically going to be in a dime situation. We don't go into any game looking at linebackers covering tight ends at all. So our deal is to try to match up, and that would be more in the true passing situations. That was more of a 50-50 down for their offense where they could run or pass, and that was a little bit of the predicament last night where, the week prior, we get Seattle not to be able to run the ball, but when you get that style of offense that's able to run it and throw it, it's going to put yourself in a little bit behind the 8 ball, and that's where we ended up last night.
Kevin.
You mentioned their balance, Lou. Did you see any like root issue for how they were able to achieve that so quickly and so easily?
Well, again, as I mentioned, just at each level, right? So we've got to do a better job up front, escaping blocks, linebackers getting to where they're supposed to be. Setting edges wasn't ideal last night, and certainly, there's a couple calls I certainly would like to have back. But we're all in this together, and it's a situation where we know we have to improve, and we have to improve fast.
Pass rush still just the one-on-one matchups like you've mentioned in recent weeks.
Well, I think that's where we're not winning, and I think that when we do get those opportunities to get in those situations where we can get on an edge, win one-on-one, we feel like we've got to do a better job. And again, we've got to help the guys in that area as well.
Steven.
Lou, along the same lines with the pass rush, I mean, is any part of you surprised that you haven't gotten a little more consistency? I mean, that is a very veteran group, a lot of money is what it is, picks, whatever the coach's role is, you probably had expectations. Well, is any part of you surprised, and why do you think they haven't been able to generate more?
I think there's a bunch of different reasons. I think guys, get paid extra attention to. Certainly when Buck's back, you can see them paying extra attention to him. And, Latu had the great win last night, gets the sack fumble, and goes right into the guy's hands. So that could have been a game changer early on. But yeah, I think that at the end of the day, if you ask any one of those guys, when they get their one-on-one situations, and that's what it always comes down to, that we like to execute better and finish on the quarterback. But to say I'm surprised, no, I just think, at the end of the day, as a collective, we need to be better.
Just a couple more, Joel.
Outside of Buckner, do you feel like you have another guy who opposing offenses have to game plan around and shift protection to?
Well, you see, the edge guys at times will get chipped. Latu gets some extra attention in that regard. They'll put a tight end over there or send the back and chip him on the way out. So I think he's the one that's garnered some of that.